Nice That You Looking At. Taylor Swift Music Career Part 6. Folklore won Album of the Year, making Swift the first woman to win this category over 3 times, and tied her for the most Album of the Year wins with artists such as Stevie Wonder. Swift's 9th studio album, Evermore, was released on December 11, 2020, and debuted atop the Billboard 200 along with its leading single, Willow, debuting atop the Billboard Hot 100. It debuted with over 329,000 units sold first week and stayed atop the chart for 4 non-consecutive weeks and charted for 224 weeks, leaving the chart soon after. It was certified 1X Platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America for having sold over 1 million units in the country. As of June 2025, it has sold over 4 million units in the country. Described as a sister record to Folklore, the album again includes collaborations with Bon Iver, Aaron Dessner, and Jack Antonoff, as well as with American rock band Haim. Evermore and Folklore have been lauded as 2 of 2020's seminal albums. ARA wrote that Swift bottled the pandemic's cultural crisis in the 2 escapist albums, transporting listeners to a simpler world whose sensibility is cottagecore instead of apocalyptic. It questioned the possibility of retrospecting on Evermore without reminiscing the pandemic, and added that future generations will get an idea of 2020 through the sister albums, which condense emotions impossible to articulate. Following the Masters controversy, Swift released the first re-recording of her back catalog, Fearless, Taylor's version, on April 9, 2021. The re-recording of her 2008 album Fearless includes replicated versions of the deluxe edition tracks and Today Was a Fairy Tale, originally released for the Valentine's Day soundtrack, as well as 6 previously unreleased From the Vault tracks. With this release, Swift reclaims full ownership of her early work. The album peaked atop the Billboard 200, selling 291,000 copies first week, and stayed there for 2 non-consecutive weeks and charted for a total of 175 weeks before leaving the chart, becoming the first re-recorded album to do so. Taylor has not updated the RIAA certification for this album. As of June 2025, it has sold over 3 million in the United States. It was also the best opening for a country album since Cry Pretty by Carrie Underwood in 2018, and was preceded by 3 of its tracks: Love Story, Taylor's version, You All Over Me, with Maren Morris, and Mr. Perfectly Fine. Love Story, Taylor's version, the re-recording of Swift's 2008 single, Love Story, made Swift the second artist after Dolly Parton to have both the original and the re-recording of a single at number 1 on the Hot Country Songs. On June 4, 2025, Love Story, Taylor's version, reached 1 billion streams on Spotify, becoming her 17th song to reach such a milestone. A week after the original reached the milestone, becoming the first re-recorded song to do so. This made Swift the first artist to have both the original and re-recorded version of a song to reach such a milestone. As of June 2025, Fearless, Taylor's version, has 5 billion streams on Spotify, making Swift the only artist with 10 albums over 5 billion streams. Swift released Wildest Dreams, Taylor's version, the re-recording of her 2015 single, Wildest Dreams, on September 17, 2021, after the song gained traction on the online video sharing app, TikTok. The second re-recording of her back catalog, Red, Taylor's version, the re-recording of her 2012 album Red, was released on November 12, 2021. It debuted atop the Billboard 200 albums chart with 605,000 units sold first week and stayed there for a single week. This made Swift the second female artist to have over #1 albums, right behind Barbra Streisand. It has charted for over 188 weeks, out-charting its original album, and still continues to chart to date. It became the biggest first-week opening for a country album since Swift's own Fearless, Taylor's version. Taylor hasn't updated the RIAA certification for this album. As of June 2025, it has sold over 5 million in the United States of America. Additionally to re-recorded versions of the original songs. The album also includes new recorded versions of the 2012 charity single, Ronan, and 9 vault tracks, 6 unreleased songs, a 10-minute-long version of All Too Well, and solo versions of Better Man, 2016, and Babe, 2018, which Swift had written for Little Big Town and Sugarland. Swift and most original producers reprised their works on the re-recorded tracks with additions from Christopher Rowe, and the vault tracks featured inputs from Aaron Dessner, Jack Antonoff, Elvira Anderfjord, and Espionage, with features from Phoebe Bridgers, Ed Sheeran, and Chris Stapleton, too, on November 22 of 2021. All Too Well, Taylor's version, 10 minutes version, from the vault, debuted #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming the first song from the re-recordings project to do so. It additionally became the longest song to reach #1 on the Hot 100 chart and became her 8th chart topper. This made her the first artist to have an album and song debut a #1 in the same week 4 times. On March 27 of 2025, All Too Well 10 reached 1 billion streams, becoming the longest song to reach this milestone. It became Swift's 15th song to surpass this milestone and the first unreleased song from the vault to do so. As of June 2025, Red, Taylor's version, has over 6.4 billion streams on Spotify. It is the most streamed re-recorded album and the most streamed country album by a female artist of all time. In addition to solo material, Swift featured on the single, Gasoline, from the expanded edition of HAIM's 2020 album Women in Music Part 3, and 2 songs, Renegade, and Birch, from the indie folk band Big Red Machine's 2021 album How Long Do You Think It's Gonna Last? In May 2021. Swift was awarded the Global Icon Award by the Brit Awards and the Songwriter Icon Award by the National Music Publishers Association. A short film written and directed by Swift, All Too Well. The short film was released alongside Red, Taylor's version, on November 12, 2021. It is titled after and features the extended re-recording of her 2012 song by the same name, and stars herself, Sadie Sink, and Dylan O'Brien. Swift was also cast in David O. Russell's untitled film slated for release on November 4, 2022. Swift further announced her 10th studio album on August 28, 2022, which is her first fully original, non-re-recorded, album since Evermore, officially ending the Red, Taylor's version, era. Midnights is the 10th studio album by American singer-songwriter Taylor Swift, released on October 21, 2022, via Republic Records. It is a moody concept album about nocturnal ruminations. Written and produced by Swift with longtime collaborator Jack Antonoff. Inspired by Swift's Sleepless Nights, Midnights explores topics of anxiety, insecurity, self-criticism, self-awareness, insomnia, and self-confidence, with lyricism characterized as confessional yet cryptic. Sonically, it experiments with chill-out, electropop, dream pop, and bedroom pop styles, resulting from an alternative approach to synth-pop using analog synthesizers, drum machine, subtle grooves, and hip-hop, R&B rhythms. Swift unveiled the standard track list on a TikTok series called Midnight's Mayhem with Me from September 21 to October 7, 2022. On October 22, 2022, Midnight's broke a record on Spotify for becoming their most streamed album in a singular day, with 185,581,612 streams. Anti-Hero earned over 17.4 million plays in its first 24 hours on Spotify globally, becoming the biggest opening day for a song in the platform's history. Midnight's earned more than 1.578 million equivalent album units in the US through its first week, becoming her fifth out of 7 1 million first-week debuts, and was the first album in the 20s decade to have a 1 million opening. It debuted a number 1 on the Billboard 200 and stayed there for 6 non-consecutive weeks, and spent 68 weeks in the top 10, becoming Swift's longest album to do so. It has spent 139 total weeks on the Billboard 200 chart. Swift with Midnight's became the first artist in history to simultaneously occupy spot number 1 through number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, beating out The Fame, Teenage Dream, 1989 and Fearless for the most top 10 hits from a single album. Anti-Hero debuted a number 1 on the Hot 100 the same week as Midnight's debuted atop the Billboard 200, extending her record as the only artist to do this thrice. Anti-Hero spent 8 consecutive weeks a number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming her longest-running number 1 hit on the chart, beating out Blank Space, which spent 7 weeks number 1, as of June 2025. Midnight's has sold over 18.5 million units worldwide, and is the best-selling album by a female artist released in 2022, and has over 11 billion streams on Spotify, making Swift the only album with 3 albums over 10 billion streams. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.